Hey everybody, Mike here with another edition of Making Sense of Transformers, a series where I talk about various topics about the Transformers movies that need a little extra analysis and explanation. Since Transformers Rise of the Beast is still in theaters at the time I release this video, it's important to note that I will be discussing heavy spoilers about the film's true ending. So, if you haven't seen it yet and don't want to be spoiled, place this in your watch later list and come back after you've watched it. So interestingly, Rise of the Beast had a completely different ending than what you saw in theaters. If you read leaks coming from test screenings about a year ago, you might have been surprised, but the final version of the film has a brand new alternate ending. So what exactly changed? Let's find out. Transformers Rise of the Beast was originally set to release on June 24th of 2022, but it was delayed nearly an entire year to June 9th of 2023. At the time, it was hard to tell if the move was related to COVID or not, but now I think it's pretty safe to assume it was actually due to a lot of changes made during production, including hiring another VFX company, Weta FX, to assist after it was rumored that the work of moving picture company just wasn't quite up to par. While CGI might have been an issue at the time, there were also many changes made to the plot during that 1-year delay. Test screenings were shown to audiences in the summer of 2022 with plot elements that were drastically different from what we saw in the final version that was released. The released film ends on a fairly happy note. While Elena was unfortunately unable to stop the transwarp key from activating using the secret code thanks to Scourge destroying the control panel, the Autobots, Maximals, and Noah all worked together to put a stop to Unicron's transportation, even if it meant the destruction of the transwarp keys and the Autobots' trip home. Optimus decides that the best option is to destroy that key, but in doing so he realizes that he will most likely be killed. After he does destroy the key, everything nearby begins to be sucked back up through the portal with Unicron. Luckily, after initially running away to safety, Noah ends up coming back in his Mirage exosuit to grab Prime's hand before he gets sucked up. While Noah's suit doesn't have enough strength to pull him down to the ground, Optimus Primal came back to help as well. He catches Optimus as Noah loses his grip, and then the three of them run and drive away to an epic medley of Steve Jablonsky music from the Michael Bay movies. Finally, we're treated to another epic speech from Optimus Prime, which is then followed by a speech from Noah. Noah embraces his family, and the film cuts to its two post-credits scenes, or maybe I should say a immediate stinger and a mid-credits scene. The first being a setup for a G.I. Joe crossover, and the second is Noah fixing Mirage, who was able to be brought back after his quote-unquote death when he turned into the exosuit. That's the ending you saw. Now let's take a look at what was in the original cut of the movie, which was actually a lot more dark and sad. But before we do that, did you know that 97% of you aren't subscribed? If you're enjoying this video and want to learn more about the Transformers movies with fun facts and theories, hit that subscribe button. So, the first major difference in the final battle was an extra plan to stop the transwarp key from teleporting Unicron to Earth. Before they were going to rely on Elena and the code, the Autobots and Maximals were going to use a bomb they created out of Air Razor's spark. Ultimately, this plan would prove to be unsuccessful, and they would have to resort to using the code anyway. After some of the final battle happens, we get to the Mirage sacrifice scene where he keeps his promise to Noah's brother by protecting him. Except in this version of the movie, Mirage transforms into a type of shield, instead of just using his actual body as the shield. It still, however, leads to the same result of him converting into a mech suit for Noah, but this time there is no hint that he could actually be okay, and the movie ends without that post-credits scene where Mirage is repaired by Noah. That post-credits scene was most likely shot in November 2022, as at the end of October, Toby Nwigwe announced that he needed to postpone his European tour because he got a call from Paramount Pictures to film more scenes for Transformers.
The head people from Transformers said I did so good in my part. They want to add me to some more scenes, so I got to go shoot some more stuff for Transformers. I don't know if I can legally say that.
Noticeably, his hair in the announcement video is in the same style as it is in the post-credits scene, which differed from how it looked at the beginning of the movie. And then by far the biggest change is literally a completely different conclusion to the movie. Rather than Optimus Prime being saved by Noah and Optimus Primal as he was about to be sucked up through the portal, the original version actually did have Optimus Prime being sucked up through that portal. This kind of left the film ending on a sad note, as it seemed like Prime did end up sacrificing himself to destroy that transwarp key. This also unfortunately would have meant that we would not have gotten that epic medley of Arrival to Earth and other pieces of Steve Jablonsky music. And since Optimus was sucked away, there was also no speech from him at the end either. Instead, the Autobots were left with Prime and Mirage seemingly dead, and the film simply had Noah's speech at the end rather than him following up Prime's speech. Kind of a bummer ending, isn't it? But the differences don't even stop there. Since the G.I. Joe crossover teaser was a late addition as well, the post-credits scene was also not featured in the 2022 cut, meaning we would be left without some satisfying conclusions to a couple of important plot threads for the humans. While the main event in that post-credits scene was the introduction to G.I. Joe, we also see that Elena is getting recognition for the discovery in Peru. Without this scene, there would be no conclusion to her character arc, as she was ultimately unable to disable the transwarp key during the final battle. So this added detail gives her a victory in the end. Agent Burke also tells Noah that his brother will be getting free medical treatment, which was again another plot thread that would have been left hanging if not for that post-credits scene. But probably the craziest difference between the 2022 cut and the final 2023 theatrical release is a cut post-credits scene. Originally, the film's only post-credits scene would have revealed that Optimus Prime did indeed survive being sucked up through the portal. We would have seen him drifting through space toward Unicron. He ends up going inside Unicron, and Unicron opens his eyes for what would be the first time in the movie. In the final film, we see his eyes when he is communicating with Scourge early on, but in the original cut, this would have been the big reveal. And that's where the film would end, presumably setting up a film where Optimus would be infused with Dark Energon and become Unicron's brainwashed herald, replacing Scourge. Considering we already saw a brainwashed Optimus Prime in the last full Transformers movie, The Last Night, this was most likely seen as repetitive, and I'm sure the test audiences expressed this feeling as well, leading to the change. So, those were all the differences between the endings of the original and final cuts. Which version do you like better? Let me know in the comments section. Signing out, I'm Mike. See you next time.